welcome in everybody to Bedford High School in Bedford, New Hampshire, as the girls varsity lacrosse team will be taking on the visiting Concord Crimson Tide. I am Corey Munster Tiger here with BCTV. Thank you very much to Bill Jennings and Colleen Richardson, the crew from BCTV, for setting audio up and video up. Bill will be running the camera here today on this blustery day, a spring day here in New England. It's about 50 degrees, but that wind is whipping, and the people in the stands are sparse and bundled up for sure. A couple of knit hats out there. We got some winter coats on, a bunch of down. People have their stand seats. It is not warm, I'll tell you that. But the teams are taking the field, ready for the opening draw in today's Division I girls lacrosse tilt. The Bedford Bulldogs are in their home whites, white shirts, black shorts / skirts, and Concord is in their visiting crimson. Starting lineups have been announced. The anthem has played. The referees are checking the goals, making sure that there are no holes in the nets. If there are, Corey Parker is in big trouble. There are not, and we're ready for the opening draw. On the opening draw, Sarah Lucy was matched up against Olivia Matthews, I believe it was. And the Bulldogs control the first possession here. They'll work it around the top side. Sydney Grogan, Olivia Matthews, Ellie Enners will be the midfield for the Bulldogs. They work around the top, and now they're going to set up in a stack formation right at the top of the fan. Get some cutters. Julian Bell looked pretty open, but they chose not to pass to her. Now the second cutter through is Sydney Grogan. That pass is just off the mark, but Julian Bell is there for the ground ball. Regan O'Brien shifts back to her left hand, gets right in on goal, and she'll score the first game of this tilt with 24-13 left in the first half. The Bulldogs go up 1-0. Outstanding move to her strong hand, her left hand, as she set the defender up, gave a little stutter step to the right, and then went back inside to her left hand and scored high right. We should see a lot of that today from both Regan as well as the rest of the offense here. Enners controls that draw and gets it back up to O'Brien. And once again, they'll settle things, get into their offense, and relax the ball here for a few seconds. Tough one there for goalie Taylor Lamb. Her defender did get beat, and help was not quick enough, so that was literally a one-on-one with Regan O'Brien. And when the attacking player gets that close in, it's tough to stop. O'Brien will take it behind now. Has Tegan Steele. They'll play a little back and forth game here. They see a cutter in the middle. That ball does not connect. The Crimson Tide pick it up. Ball gets checked away though, and Olivia Matthews comes up with the loose ball. Very athletic midfield here for the Bulldogs. They are going to be a powerhouse this year in Division I lacrosse for the girls' side. Multi-sport athletes, very strong, very athletic, contributing on a number of different varsity teams. O'Brien looking to feed from behind, goalie's back left. Defenders are doing a good job of holding that goal line extended, which in this case is the goal line for the touchdown field. You can see it goes right across the mouth of the goal. And those defenders won't chase behind, but they will try to bat the ball and prevent the ball, any attacker, from getting too high and getting a good angle on the goal. Very patient offense here, looking for first cutters and second cutters. Picks up off of that stack at the top of the fan. This time Sydney Grogan catches the feed and buries on a quick step offside. Beautiful assist from O'Brien. And Grogan has them up 2-0. So a goal and an assist for O'Brien to start the game, and one was unassisted, the first goal. And Sidney Grogan cashes for the second goal of the game. 22-17 left here in the first half. 2-0, the Bulldogs lead the Crimson Tide. Olivia Matthews on the draw again against Sarah Lucy. And enters controls on the draw, dishes. She finds, I believe that was, couldn't catch the number on that far side. I believe it was Ella Dacos. Bulldogs work it around, set up their offense. They're going to stack high on the fan again. Right at the top of the 8-meter. Figuring out some plays there, some patient offense behind as Tegan Steele is working the ball back and forth. Looks like Natalie Denon there, back there with her, number 22, the sophomore attack. Now Denon drives hard, gets top side, shoots low left and scores. Great shot by Denon on her dodge high side. Not sure if they will give Tegan Steele the assist on that, as she took several steps around the cage. Official scorer here in the booth will give her the assist, so Steele gets the assist on Natalie Denon's goal. Driving hard righty, got the edge and was able to bury low left. 3-0 Bedford over Concord. Enters, controls the draw again off of Olivia Matthews, pulling that ball back to her right. The midfielders will take their time setting things up. Grogan now to Enters. Over to Matthews and near side to Julian Bell. They work it around a couple times. Now their stack is going to be on the far side of the fan, the goalie's right side, away from the press box. Sidney Grogan cut through, couldn't quite get it. Pass to Enters is off the mark, and that will be Concord ball, as that was a pass there. Matthews was looking to feed from that top left position, goalie's top left. No good there, and now Concord will clear it out. Sophia Branch here near side. Connects temporarily to Danielle LeMay, and there was, I believe, an illegal check, so LeMay will pick it back up. Pass it back to her teammate. That's Sophia Branch again. Deep down the field, she finds teammate Tess Mulcairn, and they'll settle it down. First time on the defensive side for the Bulldogs. We'll see what their defense has in store here, led by junior goaltender Abby Widener. Quarterback back there has the sun right in her eyes here for the first half, so a little bit of a challenge with that yellow ball from top center. Drive here by Mary Martinson is defended nicely on help defense. Sidney Grogan matches up with Martinson. Martinson drives hard righty, shot, save. Widener, I believe that caught her right in the melon, but will go high and back beyond. Concord backs it up nicely, and Greta Norton will take it in from the end line. Now Tess Mulcairn, guarded by Sabrina Tipping. And now Emmanuelle Beaujouin is guarded by Kira Abdel Sayed. Say that 10 times fast. Sarah Lucy, top left, looks to drive on Matthews, pulls it back out and dishes back to Emmanuelle Beaujouin. And now Enders extends pressure out. Ooh, she baited her into it, and now we're going to have a shooting space violation. So Emmanuel Beaujoin is going to have an 8-meter free shot right here on the top left of Widener's cage. That shooting space means the help defender came and was in a dangerous position. Shot save here by Widener. Great job coming all the way across her body. Outstanding save by Widener. Keeps the score at 3-0. And now she hops up into the clear. 18:20 left here in the first half. The Bulldogs lead 3-0. Now they're working their clear. Libby Norris gets it near side. Passes up to Denon. Denon up quickly. Finds Matthews in transition. They had numbers, but they're going to settle it down and set up their offense. Good defensive stand by the starting defense there. Vivian Robinson, the junior. Sabrina Tipping, also a junior. Kira Abdel Sayed, another junior. And they are joined by sophomore Libby Norris. Matthews looks for cutters, finds one. Julian Bell sticks it near side. Offside hip. That's a tough one to catch up to for Taylor Lamb. And Julian Bell will stick it in for a 4-0 lead. So 4-0 game here. 17:36 to go in the first half. Goals by O'Brien to start, and then Grogan, Denon, and Bell have put the Bulldogs in a strong position to start this game. Draw goes back towards the offensive side. Matthews comes away with it temporarily. Loose ball was up high, and then she comes down with it. They'll settle, get into their offense. They settle the ball up top, work it around with their midfielders and attack, and they will get into their set. First few sets were a stack at the top of the fan. The last couple have been a stack to the goalie's right side of the fan. And we'll see what their preference is for this offensive possession as they kill a little time. Bring it back behind. So Tegan Steele will work with Regan O'Brien behind the goalie. Stack is up top of the fan again. They'll look for cutters, picks up top, getting people free as they look for passes from behind. It's a tough spot here for the goalie as she has her back to most of the action, which is up top. She gets around quickly there, but can't quite get around quick enough as Regan O'Brien feeds Olivia Matthews and returns the favor as Matthews assisted on the last goal, now gets her first of the game. 5-0 Bedford on O'Brien's second assist of the day. Concord's going to take a timeout. Just under 9 minutes to go, or 9 minutes past here in the first half. 5-0 Bedford. They've jumped out quickly and really have dominated play here for these first 9 minutes. Referees conference there at the 30-yard line. They're going to get ready for this draw here in a minute. Bedford had a home game yesterday. Came out for the first half. It did get out of hand in that first half. I didn't quite get the score of it. I'll see if I can find it now, but I am told by our official scorekeeper here it was 14-4 yesterday was the final. Commanding win over the visiting Chelmsford High School girls lacrosse team. It's a good thing it wasn't the boys lacrosse team that came. That would have been a little strange scheduling mishap. And once again, Corey Parker would have been in big trouble on that one. He asks me once again, well, you know, he missed the reference earlier in the broadcast about potential holes in the nets here. But he's all good. The nets are in good condition. The schedules are fine. I think we're all on the same page here. as as we break the huddle and we get back out here. Solid team here this afternoon. The Bulldogs are going to be in good shape this season as they have a number of juniors and sophomores on the team here. Only 3 seniors that I count, but the majority of folks getting the time here are that junior class who have been together for a number of years. I've had the pleasure of coaching that class when they were youngsters, and it was always a fun season getting out there and watching their skills develop, especially with their stick skills and their athletic ability. And we're seeing the fruits of that hard work, not my hard work, their hard work over the past several years. Matthews again on the draw, this time against Greta Norton. And the Bulldogs control as Grogan comes down with that loose ball. Gets it up to Julian Bell. And the Bulldogs will settle again. Work it around the top. Burn some time off that clock with a comfortable lead. As they should, the Crimson Tide are content to stay in on the fan. Their defenders are taught to have heels on the edge of the fan. Feed inside here to Enners, and that's a goal. I think they might call shooting space. One of the defenders ran by in a dangerous way. I think that was Colette Brochu. And they're not going to give continuation. Sometimes the referees will hold a flag up and allow for the play to continue. But in this case, I believe Colette Brochu is going to get a shooting space violation, and Enners will take an 8-meter to the goalie's top left. And that is what we're going to see here. 15:39 left in the first half. Enners with the 8-meter. Lines up with her right hand, her dominant hand. Waits for the official's whistle. Likely will drive, see what she can do to beat Taylor Lamb here. There's the whistle and the drive. Goes high right and sticks it in the corner. So Ellie Enners will have goal number 6 for the Bulldogs. Such a tough position for the defenders to get in and challenge that, and for the goalie to either come out and challenge or hold her line and anticipate the shot. In this case, Ellers was too good. Ellers, I keep screwing up her name. Ellie Enners was too good and stuck it top right. Goalie's offside high, which again is a tough save. Back to the draw. Norton again against Matthews. This time it is pulled down by Mary Martinson. Martinson, quickly under pressure, runs back to her defensive end. She finds Lily Savoy up the sideline there. Picked up by Sarah Lucy, checked away. Well, that's going to be an illegal check. Sophia Branch picks it up now. Actually, they give it back to Sarah Lucy. She starts, works it back. Branch rolls away from pressure. No time limit to advance here in the girls' game. Whereas in the boys, they do have time limits to advance it. Loose ball now, picked up by Tipping. Sabrina Tipping gets it up quickly to Sydney Grogan. She doesn't have numbers, and she'll settle and wait for her midfielders in attack to get into position while they set up their offense. Great ride by the Bulldogs. They got that ball on the ground, forced the turnover, and Tipping came up with the loose ball. And we're back to killing time up top. They will break, now head into their offensive set. Cutter through the middle, just high on the pass. Bell can't come down with it. And that ball does go out of bounds. The Crimson Tide will take over behind on the pass. Ball's taken behind by Brochu. Checked away by O'Brien. And her effort earns the ball back for the Bulldogs. O'Brien fakes the drive. Now she'll be content to work it behind with Denon. Natalie Denon, the sophomore attacker. Bulldogs come in with a 4-0 record with wins over Salem to start the season, 13-2. Pass and shot here enters from O'Brien, and it is 7-0. Great cut through the middle by Enners. Got to her strong right hand. .13 left here, and it is 7-0. Bulldogs lead. We're just getting into the record so far. The Bulldogs have won their first 4 games here before today's matchup. They won their opener against Salem 13-2, followed by Kennebunk 18-5, Pinkerton 13-6, which is a strong program out there. And then yesterday again the score was 14-4, looking to continue their season with a perfect record. Draw here was battled for on the ground and finally possessed by Mary Martinson. They'll set up their offense here with the Concord Crimson Tide in their offensive end for maybe only the 3rd time. Pass behind to Norton. She'll look to drive. Guarded behind by Audrey Purnell. Now tipping guards Tess Mulcairn. Back behind to Sophia Payne. That ball in the middle, nice feed and score. Mary Martinson on the goal from, it looked like Sophia Payne on that goalie's back right. Just a tough shot, tough score. So Martinson scores the first for the Crimson Tide from Sophia Payne. And the Crimson get on the board. And it is 7-1, the Bulldogs lead. Concord came out a little bit too early. They aren't allowed to go beyond the 30 during that draw, so as they left that box early, it is a violation. The Bulldogs pick that ball up and will work it into their offensive end. Starting to see a few substitutions for the Bulldogs, as we mentioned on the defensive end. Audrey Purnell was seeing some time back there. We are also seeing Madeline or Maddie Kiley, the freshman, number 4, out there working in the midfield. She's joined by Abby Williams, Tegan Steele, Natalie Denon. Cutter through the middle. Matthews gets it near side to Regan O'Brien, and Enners will make out. Excuse me, Enners is not out there. Matthews, I believe, is the 7th that I didn't call yet. Steele looks for Cutters. Great pass and catch. O'Brien finishes on the assist from Steele. Just a quick cut inside as O'Brien caught her defender napping. And that quick cut gives her a step. Steele saw the cut well ahead of time. Made the feed. And the Bulldogs answer and go up 8-1. 11:15 to go here in the first half. It has been all Bulldogs so far. Back to the draw. Mary Martinson will take it this time for Concord High School. Against Maddie Kiley. And Matthews comes away with that loose ball. Up quickly to Williams. And they'll settle into their offense once again. Just under 11 to go here in the first half. 8-1 Bedford. Ella Dacos is checked in now. She's joined by Kylie Matthews, Audrey Purnell, Abby Williams, Tegan Steele, and Natalie Denon. As they work it around the top here. A couple more passes. 10.5. They burn a good 30 seconds off the clock, and now they'll work into their offensive set. Steele takes it behind from X. They call that the position directly behind the goalie X in lacrosse. Oddly, they call the face-off X, the midfield, for the boys' game, but great feed here from Steele to Williams, and Williams is able to cash on the doorstep. Again, Taylor Lamb didn't have much of a chance there. So the Bulldogs go up 9-1. Steele's third assist of the game. O'Brien also has 3 assists. And O'Brien has 2 goals to go with that. Goals also by Grogan, Denon, Bell, Matthews, 2 by Enners, and now Williams. And our score with just over 10 minutes to play is 9-1 Bedford over the Crimson Tide. Back to the draw. Mary Martinson will take it for the Crimson Tide. Maddie Kiley was taking that for the Bulldogs. Possession gained here by Sarah Lucy. Comes back to midfield to Emmanuel Beaujoin. She gets whacked there. Will restart. Dishes backwards. And that pass was nearly picked off by Grogan. Not quite. She gets it to Sarah Lucy. And now it is checked away and picked up by Grogan. Her pass is high and long. And Steele will chase that down. Great hustle there by Tegan Steele, the sophomore attacker. And once again, the Bulldogs will settle into their offense. So really only 3, maybe 4 solid possessions for the Crimson Tide here on their offensive end. One of them yielded a goal, but the rest of the first half has been dominated by the Bulldogs. Kylie near side back to Matthews. They work it far side to Audrey Purnell. Just having a game of catch right now and burning some time off the clock. Now Kylie cuts through. And Matthews cuts through. Purnell looks for cutters. Ella Dacos up top to Abby Williams. Natalie Denon. Circle offensive types where they're making a pass and cutting through. Important part here is to make sure that those cuts are viable cuts. Get the defense moving their feet. Be a credible threat on the cut instead of just walking and kind of going through the motions. Bulldogs are making good hard cuts. Stabbing that outside foot. Running hard through the middle and trying to get a look. Steele comes around right side, gets an awkward bouncer to go. Not quite sure if that snuck in near side, but it did tickle the top right. on a high bouncer, and Steele will get an unassisted goal. So 10-1 Bedford over Concord. We are still 7 3/4 away from halftime. And I'm going to run out of things to say. Uh, these guys are telling me to talk about old man basketball. That's like the worst and last thing that anybody wants to hear about. We do have a defensive stance here for the Bulldogs this time. They're adjusting to the draws that they've seen the last couple of times. Matthews comes away with the loose ball, though, as they were well positioned. Kiley was on the draw against Norton again. The Bulldogs come away with it. Supposed to warm up later this week. The girls will be out of town, or excuse me, maybe in town all next week. And the boys will be in town, or boys the opposite of that. So 3 games next week. Should be a full schedule for them. Here we go. Somebody just sent me the schedule right over here. This is a professional outfit. Next game is Monday against Sauhegan, and then Friday against Londonderry, both away. We will do some broadcasts of the boys' game, I believe, on Monday or Tuesday. I don't have that schedule in front of me. Where's my stats guy this time? See if I can. So boys will be home against Sauhegan on Monday and then home against Hollis Brookline on Wednesday. We should be able to bring you both of those games and possibly the game on Friday, home against Londonderry, which should be a good tilt. Not to say that Sauhegan and Hollis Brookline won't be good, but certainly that rivalry with Londonderry, who brings a strong team to town, will be solid matchups. Back here to the girls, Steele feeds from behind. Matthews catches that ball. Fires it all the way back around to Steele. Can't quite get that to go. You just want Teagan to put that stick in her left hand and bury on that top side drive, but couldn't get that done. Steele now looks for cutters as they take a very patient approach on the offensive end. Working back and forth behind the crease. You'll notice the defender, number 27, Danielle LeMay, is dancing right around that crease. In women's lacrosse, the women are not allowed to go through the crease at the high school level. At the college level, they have changed that, so the defenders can run through the crease. High school rules have not quite adapted that yet. So neither the attacking player nor the defending player can run through that. The only person allowed in there is the goalie, and that is her domain. Steele off to Williams now. Goalie's back right, now near side to Dacos, back left. Denon has nobody covering her as the defense got a little confused, but again, they're taking a patient approach. 4.5 to go here in the first half. 10-1, Bedford leads the Crimson Tide. Cutter in the middle. Matthews with a quick stick stings the upper right-hand corner, offside, high. So Teagan Steele with the assist there. 11-1 as Matthews buries that top right corner. And the score is pushed out 11-1. Olivia Matthews back on the draw, this time against, looks like, Tess Mulcairn will take the draw for Concord. Got an empty check. Actually, it's a hold on Concord. Sidney Grogan picks it up, works it up quickly to Matthews and then to O'Brien, who's back on the field now. Julian Bell joins her, as well as Enners, working the subs through. Another patient approach as we are just over 3 minutes to go here in the first half. O'Brien takes it behind. Gets it to Denon. Now to Steele. Looks for cutters in the middle. Enners looks to drive, draws a crowd. Wisely chooses to back it back out. Keeps possession. Steele now to O'Brien. Looks for cutters. Finds Bell. Bell's shot misses near side. And Taylor Lamb will pick it up behind the cage. Their shooting percentage was darn near 100% there, and that was one of the first that he's even missed the cage, which was just barely outside to the near side. The Bulldogs ride hard here, try to get a turnover. Tipped there by Kira Abdel-Sayed, trying to keep that ball on the ground. 50-50 ball, so they have a chance. It does get on the ground now, and Abdel-Sayed picks it up, draws a crowd there. Abby Widener steps out of her cage, offers a good outlet, now near side to Viv Robinson. Climbing the ladder on the near side, meaning they're making passes every 10 to 20 yards right up the near side here. Matthews to O'Brien and then to Bell. And they are in their offensive end, so they will settle things down again. Minute 20 to go here in the first half. 11-1 is your score. The Bedford Bulldogs lead the visiting Concord Crimson Tide in a half that has been dominated by the Bulldogs. They work it behind. Enters to O'Brien and now to Denon. And to Steele. Great backdoor cut there by Enners. And that connection I've seen for years as O'Brien saw that coming. Beautiful dish on the backdoor cut. Enners caught it left-handed and finished left-handed or offhand. But it's tough to tell which one is an offhand for Enners. They have a great connection out there. It's fun to watch that as they can read very quickly what the other one wants to do. In that case, O'Brien saw that quick backdoor cut, hit Enners on the way through, and that's going to basically finish out the first half as we have 10 seconds to go going to the draw. We have Matthews and Mulcairn lining up, but that's going to run out the first half here. 3 seconds to go, 2 and 1. And that'll do it. That is the final part of the first half as we come to halftime. The Bulldogs lead 12-1 over the Concord Crimson Tide. 2 goals by O'Brien, 1 goal by Grogan, 1 by Denon, 1 by Bell. Matthews has 2, Enners has 3. Williams and Steele also have goals for the Bulldogs. The lone goal for the Crimson Tide was Mary Martinson, assisted by Sophia Payne. And that will round out the scoring and the first half. We'll join you again in about 5 minutes. Enjoy the halftime as we come back here to Bedford High School in this Division I lacrosse tilt between Bedford and Concord. Welcome back here to Bedford High School in Bedford, New Hampshire. Division I girls lacrosse action as the Bulldogs are playing host to the Crimson Tide. I am joined here by, oh, never mind, nobody. Empty seat right here. What's that, Bill O'Brien taking off? Bill O'Brien, the 85-year-old father of Regan O'Brien, has been requested several different times. However, he may be 85 years old, but he'd still sound great on the broadcast. Unfortunately, he won't join me here on the microphone, but we still are going to rejoin the girls as they are dominating this game and have regained possession. And we'll settle into their offense once again. 12-1 is your halftime score. We're getting back into it. Again, goals scored by O'Brien, Grogan, Denon, Bell, Matthews, Enners, Williams, and Steele in various numbers across the board. Some with 2 and 3. Assists mostly coming from O'Brien and Steele from behind. Matthews has 1 as well. 4 assists by O'Brien. 4 assists by Steele. A couple of unassisted goals as well. In the middle here to Grogan. She gets surrounded, chooses to pull it back out. Enters now. Finds Julian Bell wide open. Now draws 2. Grogan can't get it off lefty. Her shot gets deflected. Steele is able to corral that ball behind the net, back left. And the Bulldogs reset. Steele back up top. Over to O'Brien. Finds near side to Bell. Looks for cutters inside. Grogan came open, but just after Bell was looking inside. Grogan is open now. One-on-one. BTB, and she finds net. Beautiful goal there by Grogan. As I say, BTB, for all of those lacrosse folks who are not aware of the acronym, that is a behind the back. As she flicked it behind her head, over her shoulder, we call it a behind the back shot. And she found that top right of the net just over Lamb's shoulder. O'Brien on the assist there. That is her 5th assist of the game. And the score goes out 13-1. I was wondering when we might see either a behind the back pass or a behind the back shot. We finally see it from Grogan there on a little crafty play right in front of the cage. Ellers comes away with the draw. Quickly up to O'Brien. And they'll reset their offense once again. In this case, with the lopsided score, the Bulldogs are trying to be respectful, but yet still get their repetitions in on the offensive side. They'll work it around, burn some time off the clock, and then get into their offensive set, which we'll see now. Denon drives hard righty. All the way back up top. Matthews now far side to O'Brien. Looks like they're cutting off Steele behind as Danielle LeMay was extending her defense. Bell to Grogan now. Back to Bell. She drives hard. Righty. O'Brien gets a little bit of space, but pulls it back out. Matthews. Far side now to Steele. Grogan near side. And I think we're going to have a 3-second. 3-second call. I don't think it was shooting space. It didn't seem like Enners was in a threatening position, but she will get an 8-meter. It is not right on the fan. It's on the outside hash to the right side of Taylor Lamb. Tough shooting spot here. Usually this hash is a difficult one to take that shot on the 8-meter, and we see Enners will just pull it back out and retain possession. Grogan sees a double team here. Finds the cutter from behind. Denon catches lefty and buries. So Sydney Grogan finds Natalie Denon coming around that goalie's left side and is able to finish. Grogan scores the first one of the second half and now assists on the second one of the second half. This time finds Denon cutting around. I appreciate how Natalie had the stick in her left hand, that is her offhand, was able to catch a tough pass, was a little bit out of her comfort zone, still able to catch it, turn, spin, and fire that shot behind Lamb, her second on the day. "19 and a half to go here in the second half. Back to the draw. This time Matthews pushes forward, finds Maddie Kiley. O'Brien scoops and pulls away. While the Bulldogs set up their offense, talk to you about the Bedford Bulldogs Athletics Booster Club. If you haven't joined yet, you can find some more information at bbabc.net. A lot of information about the Bedford Bulldogs Athletic Booster Club. They also have a list of sponsors here that have been very helpful throughout the athletic season. Regan O'Brien's shot goes wide near side. Bulldogs Athletic Booster Club would like to thank Spectrum Marketing, BEI Network, Gear Up Bedford, London Family Orthodontics. We're going to have a foul right there in the fan, so we're going to have an 8-meter shot. Looks like, ooh, we're going to get a card too. Yeah, we are. Got a yellow card here on number 10, Colette Brochu. I think she whacked O'Brien in the head with a check, so she will be sent off into the sin bin. Some other sponsors we'll get to after O'Brien takes this 8-meter. Up to the top left of Lamb. Fake high, go low, and O'Brien finishes. That is O'Brien's third goal of the game, unassisted.
Bedford goal by number 29, Regan O'Brien.
15-1 is your score, just over 18 minutes to go. Back to that list of sponsors. Again, Spectrum Marketing, BEI Network, Gear Up Bedford, London Family Orthodontics, Andrade Management Group, Liberty Hill Construction, Wicked Good Butcher, Realty One Group, Next Level, New Hampshire Orthopedic Center, and River Road Pediatrics. On behalf of the 413 spring student athletes, thank you for your support of Bedford Bulldog Athletics. 15-1 is your score. The Bulldogs back to the draw. It is Matthews against Norton, controlled by Kiley. That's Maddie Kiley. Settled down by Julian Bell. And once again, the Bulldogs will work it around up top. Audrey Purnell now to Maddie Kiley. Far side to Matthews. Cutter inside. They find her on the doorstep, and Ella Dacos is able to bury from Matthews. So Dacos gets her first goal of the game. Matthews gets her second assist. They push it out to 16-1. Widener has seen very little action back in her end, and therefore she has been substituted out. Grace Stewart has taken over between the pipes for the Bulldogs. We also see Lindsay Campbell on the backside there playing some defense along with Sabrina Tipping, Kira Abdel Sayed, and I believe Libby Norris makes out the fourth on the Bedford D. Concord has taken a more defensive approach here on the draws now as they have an extra back, preventing any of those fast breaks. Greta Norton, Tess Mulcairn Looks like Lily Murnau will run off, and Lily Simpson will take her place on the attack side for the Crimson Tide. And therefore, on the offensive end are rounded out by, I believe, no, that's not Sophia Branch. Can't quite get a number on their fourth attacker. Crimson Tide are extending some pressure here, trying to get that ball on the ground. But the Bulldogs are working time off the clock. Sophia Payne is that last attacker for the Crimson Tide. Finally was able to get that number as the Bulldogs get into their offensive set. Matthews finds Bell cutting, and that's another goal. Bell scores her second of the game. And Matthews' third assist, second in a row. That's a really strong cut on that backside, and that pass, straight as an arrow, found Bell on that backside. Bang, bang play, tough to catch up to if you are Taylor Lamb, the Crimson Tide goalkeeper. 14 minutes to go here, 17-1 is your lead as the Bulldogs are handling the Crimson Tide. Draw here, gets pushed forward by Mary Martinson. Ball on the ground. Pulled away by Greta Norton. And they are in their offensive end for the first time this half, and it's quickly thrown away. Dacos picks up the ground ball. Fires far side. Tegan Steele. She'll leg it into the offensive end for the Bulldogs, and they will settle things down there. Burn some time and get into their offense. As we discussed, the Crimson Tide are extending out their defense a little bit more, and we'll get a timeout here by the Bulldogs. 13:01 left here in the game. The Bulldogs lead 17-1. They'll take a timeout. Wind is still blowing. We're seeing a few fans still out there with their blankets wrapped around them. It is not warm out there, I'll tell you that. I'm pretty happy for the warmth of the press box today.
Speak for yourself.
My cameraman does not necessarily agree, as Bill Jennings has probably got some cold hands over there. The BCTV crew will try to join you once or twice a week for lacrosse action. We are not able to broadcast every game based on how early some of them are in the day. However, we will try to get most of the varsity games that are home for both the girls and the boys.
Bringing baseball and softball this year too.
We do have a crew that will broadcast both baseball as well as softball games as well.
Might even get a Harry Kozlowski.
We might, as Bill Jennings just mentioned, get an unfortunate sighting of a Bills fan around here in Harry Kozlowski. I always want to say Harry Kozlowski's name in a Chicago accent, you know, a good Polish guy, Harry Kozlowski.
Recognizable guy from Bulldogs football.
He is a pillar on the radio airwaves and broadcasting out here on BCTV for both football and hockey, as well as the basketball broadcasts throughout the fall and winter.
Hibernates in the spring.
He probably will go to a bunch of Sabres games this spring, as he has season tickets up there in the Buffalo area. But he does not make an appearance much on the lacrosse broadcast, as he doesn't know a lick about the sport. No offense, Harry. We are anticipating being back on the airways next week. Likely next Monday, with the boys taking on Souhegan at 5:30 p.m. And then Wednesday, they will play host to Hollis Brookline. Boys have started 1-2, I believe, is their record. As the girls, as mentioned earlier on this broadcast, are 4-0, looking to push that to 5-0. Pass here is wide. Tegan Steele does a great job tracking that ball down before it goes out of bounds. Back up top to Maddie Kiley. Matthews now to Williams. Oh, they calling off sides here, and the Crimson will get the ball as Libby Norris stepped over that 30-yard line a little too early. And that will yield possession to the Crimson Tide. Nice little move there by Mary Martinson. Finds some near space on the near side of the field. Legs it into the offensive end. And the Crimson Tide will set up their offense. Beaujuan. Back near side to Martinson. We'll see what the Bulldogs have in store for defense. As Crimson Tide set up a few cutters. Ball's top center. Drive righty was Beaujuan. Kicks it behind now to Greta Norton. Norton back to X. Finds Mulcairn. Drives hard righty. Decides not to push it. And that pass is picked off by Olivia Matthews. Up to Dacos. Dacos climbs the ladder far side to Tegan Steele. Steele settles back to Matthews. And the Bulldogs will calm things down again. (17-1) is still your score here. 10:40 to go here in the game. Williams now passes back over, finds Purnell. Purnell far side. Maddie Kiley now to Matthews. Crimson Tide have shifted to a backer defense where they have number 30. I don't have a name for number 30. I'm sorry about that. But they are trying to provide basically a double team on each and every drive. It's an exhausting position for poor number 30. Let's see if I can find a name for her. They do have a few of their JV players that are playing varsity. That is Avery Case, who's getting some time in that backer position. We're going to get, looks like a defensive 3 seconds call here as Case is sent behind. So that defensive 3 seconds call is if a defender who is not directly defending the ball is lingering in that fan area for 3 seconds or longer, it's considered a type of zone defense, and therefore she's going to get called. It's not allowed in lacrosse. You need to be covering somebody directly. So that was a defensive 3 seconds call. Possession was awarded on the 12 meter. They chose to keep possession, and that ball went back in the defensive end, and the Bulldogs were fortunate to gain possession of that. Loose ball here, though, is picked up by Sophia Branch. Branch looks far side. She finds Danielle LeMay. LeMay's checked there, and that ball squirts free and finds Olivia Matthews. She will settle things. Kylie Maddie now, 9 minutes to go. 17-1 is your score as the Bulldogs lead the visiting Crimson Tide. That call was a tough one on Avery Case there. She needs to keep those heels basically right on the edge of that fan on the top side. You can see her trying to provide support on this defensive side. Intercepted here by Nadia Hanna. But that loose ball finds a Bedford stick. Matthews, near side, again batted down, this time by Sophia Branch. She makes a dodge away from Purnell. And another rolls back, finds some open space, backside. That was to call that Brochu, and now Abdel Sayed sticks her stick in the way and is able to bat down that ball. Abdel Sayed is fouled there. Gets it forward to Steele. And now to Maddie Kiley. Midfielders will calm things down. Purnell, far side now to Denon. Denon to Dacos. Dacos drives righty, gets picked up by that backer, providing some extra support. It's an exhausting defensive position to play, as Case, in this case, pun intended, is consistently running back and forth along the top side of that fan. Matthews had a clear one-on-one with the goalie, chooses not to shoot. Dacos now to Matthews and to Purnell. Back to Matthews. Kiley, now Williams. And they're taking the air out of this ball. 6.5 to go here. Clock keeps ticking. As once that goal differential reaches 10 in girls lacrosse, they keep the running clock. Matthews backs it out. She's guarded there by Nadia Hanna. And they look for cutters in the lane. Maddie Kiley can't squeeze that one. Loose ball picked up by Purnell. Matthews to Kiley. Back to Purnell. Oof. Kiley was wide open in the middle. Matthews again chooses not to shoot. Cutter in the middle. Purnell. Looked like she had a little bit of space. Back near side. Purnell. And despite getting in this second half, Grace Stewart has not really seen much action. I'm not sure if she's even seen a shot down there to our right side. Triple team comes for Olivia Matthews. Drops the ball, but picks it back up pretty quickly. Purnell and Kiley. Little rocker step there nicely by Audrey Purnell. Steele now out to the goalie's top right. Purnell in the middle, and they are really not looking to score here at all. Olivia Matthews. Cutter now. Purnell has to shoot that one and scores. So Matthews to Purnell. And Purnell gets her first goal of the game.
Bedford goal by number 4, Audrey Purnell. Assist by number 2, Olivia Matthews.
18-1 is your score. The Bulldogs dominating this game from the opening draw through. Just under 4 minutes to go. Clock is still running. We have a conference here by the Bulldogs, but they are going to get called back out to the midfield so we can take this draw and get the game going. Draw will be taken by Maddie Kiley. She's joined on the wings by Grogan and Purnell. For Concord, we have Emmanuel Beaujouan on the wing. I believe Greta Norton will take this. No, it's going to be Mary Martinson. Greta Norton was on the wing. Controlled by Purnell. Quickly up to Dacos. And the Bulldogs will settle into their offense again. Strong stick skills here by the Bulldogs today. Not only in passing and catching, but many of the loose balls have quickly found a Bedford stick on these ground balls. Their hustle has been outstanding. Their domination at the draw has been consistent throughout. And it's tough to score goals when you don't have the ball, and that's what Crimson Tide have faced pretty much all day. 2.5 to go here. Time is quickly ticking away. Some might say not fast enough, but I won't name any names, but his initials are WJ. That's kind of obvious for Bill Jennings, isn't it? I'm sorry, did I just say his name? Sidney Grogan up top. Little stutter step there by Purnell. Gets somebody to fall down on the defensive side. Ball squirts free. Grogan will come away with the Lucy, though. 2 to go in the game. 18-1. Bedford leads over Concord. Kiley drives hard lefty, decides not to shoot. Dacos will drive righty. Get whacked in the head, no call. Grogan a little face dodge there to get herself some space. Natalie Denon. Bulldogs are content to drive, draw a double, and slowly back it out, make some passes around the edge. Abby Williams turns the corner. Back out to Grogan. Dacos now. Drives into a crowd. 3 defenders there. Again, wisely pulls it out. Minute to go here in the game this afternoon on this Tuesday blustery afternoon. Winds seem to have calmed a little bit, but they are still moving the air around a little bit. Batted there by Emmanuel Beaujuan. Now it's stolen, and she's getting back up the field. Strong defense by Sid Grogan gets her to turn back. Illegal check there by Steele will get the ball back in Concord's hand. 30 seconds to go here. See if they can mount anything, and no, it's turned back over. Ella Dacos will get possession back and hang out and burn off the rest of the clock. So a dominant performance this afternoon here by the Bedford girls lacrosse team. Leading from the opening draw. That'll run it out. 3 goals by O'Brien. Let's see. 2 by Grogan. 2 by Denon. 2 by Bell. Matthews had 2. Enters 3. Williams a goal. Steele 1. And I believe that'll round out the scoring on the Bulldogs side. There are a lot of goals to keep track of, and I don't have them added up, but and many assists, as we were talking about throughout. Matthews had 4 assists. O'Brien had 5, and Steele had 4. Grogan had 1. And that'll round out the assists. So, again, a lot of scoring around the horn for each of the Bulldogs starters getting on the stat sheet. Your final score here this afternoon is 18-1, and the Bulldogs extend their record to 5-0. We will join you next week, as mentioned, Monday and Wednesday for boys lacrosse action here. For Bill Jennings and Colleen Richardson with the BCTV crew, we appreciate you listening and watching this afternoon. Have a great evening.